Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thanks for joining me today. Real quick, if you like what you see here today, if you like this podcast, it's got a lot of great content on the YouTube channel, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. Head on over there, hit that subscribe button, make me a happy person. Okay, Will Ospreay has challenged CM Punk to an IWGP Heavyweight title match. So the question is, will CM Punk accept Will Ospreay's challenge? I'm going to read the article here. It is from SES Scoops. New IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay made an official challenge to CM Punk. The British wrestler appeared at a post-show press conference for Sakura Genesis and relayed a number of topics for fans regarding the future of the championship. Oops. Okay, there we go. And his stable, the United Empire. He said, before I was champion, a man who sparked a whole lot of interest in pro wrestling, CM Punk said he'd like to face Will Ospreay. The new IWGP champion noted, now that I have the biggest prize in pro wrestling, if you really want to prove you are the best in the world and not the best of a bad bunch, come over here and try to take this title from me. So that was Will Ospreay challenging CM Punk. CM Punk did once say that Ospreay was an opponent he would consider facing if he were ever to return to the squared circle. He made that comments back in March of 2020. So the question is, will CM Punk come out of retirement to face Will Ospreay for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Maybe at Korakuen Hall, maybe at Wrestle Kingdom, maybe at the Tokyo Dome. But the bottom line, that would just be absolutely incredible if CM Punk came out of retirement and faced Will Ospreay for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. You know how much you know you know how much buzz that would create. You know how many tickets they would sell to that, and I'm sure by the time the pandemic would be over, they could fill in the Tokyo Egg Dome. That would be absolutely huge, and that would be a tremendous, tremendous match. And I'm thinking CM Punk. I know he has said that he's no interest in returning to pro wrestling, but he also did say that Will Ospreay is one opponent he would return to pro wrestling for. So, could we see him back? I hope so. I think it would be a terrific match. There was no comment yet from CM Punk on this. Maybe he'll comment in the next couple of days. But I love Will Ospreay, going out there and just challenging CM Punk right away. And maybe this is the start of a storyline. You got to think about that. Is this the start of a storyline? Maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling already have a deal with CM Punk. And they know that CM Punk wants to face Will Ospreay, and they figured if he wants to come back and he only wants to face Will Ospreay, why don't we make this for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? And this is the start of that storyline. That's a possibility. Of course, that's me speculating. That's just me speculating on that. But just think about it. Just think about it. Well, you just won the title. I know, that Sakura Genesis, Shingo Takagi and Okada came out, and Ospreay said that they're both going to get the shot. Tagagi's getting the first shot, and then Okada will get the second shot. But he came out and he said, "I want CM Punk." And CM Punk and put the challenge out there. Again, you have to think: could it be the start of a storyline? Could it be that New Japan Pro Wrestling is in deep negotiations with CM Punk, and one of the things that he wants to challenge Will Ospreay for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, because the win over Kota Ibushi was a little bit of a surprise, and it was a little bit of a surprise to a lot of people. I didn't think Kota Ibushi was going to lose to Will Ospreay. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I thought Kota Ibushi, this was his time. I thought he was going to hold on to that belt until Wrestle Kingdom, and I thought he was going to get the win back over Okada. But it was really, really surprising. Really, really surprising. It was a tremendous match. If you haven't seen the match, you have to see Will Ospreay against Kota Ibushi at Sakura Genesis. But you have to think. Is this something brewing here? Is CM Punk coming back, and it could just be a one-off match, or it could be for a series of matches. But bottom line is, it's a little. you have to think. You have to think. You have to speculate that maybe something's going on. Maybe something's happening. Unless he just wanted to use CM Punk's name to create some buzz. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But I think it's a good possibility we could see CM Punk back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't think he's going to return to WWE. I don't think he left. I think when he left, he kind of left some bad blood there. And I know they say everything's okay, and I don't think he would want to return to WWE. I think if he came back, he'd want to try something else. New Japan Pro Wrestling would be a great spot for him, and challenging Will Ospreay for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship would just be tremendous. Just be tremendous. Got my fingers crossed. I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm going to keep my eye on this for the next couple of days. I'm really curious to see if CM Punk comes back and says something. But again, never say never. We could see CM Punk. Find it very interesting that Kota Ibushi loses to Will Ospreay, and the very next day, Will Ospreay challenges CM Punk. Very, very interesting there. Something could be brewing. Something could be brewing. Again, just me speculating, but I'm going to speculate. Something could be brewing there. And Will Ospreay versus CM Punk would be one for the ages. And I think every single professional wrestling fan would be absolutely intent on seeing that. They would be very interested in seeing that, and it would create so much buzz all over the world, in my opinion, if this does in fact happen. What if CM Punk in the next few days accepts the challenge? What if he accepts Will Ospreay's challenge? Like I said, never say never. Could happen. Okay, so let's go on to another challenge right now. The IWGP US Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley, has called out former two-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Yuji Nagata, he offers him a title shot. Yuji Nagata offered him a title shot. Nagata hasn't responded yet, but this is 411 Mania. Jon Moxley wants Yuji Nagata to be his next opponent in New Japan Pro Wrestling for the U.S. title. New Japan Pro Wrestling posted a promo from Moxley in which he challenged Nagata to face him for the championship, which you can read below. Okay, Moxley says that he calls his own shots and is big game hunting, naming Nagata as someone he respects and wants to face. And Moxley has held the U.S. Championship since Wrestle Kingdom 14, Night 1. But he hasn't been able to defend it because of the pandemic. He defended it recently successfully against Kenta, and now he wants to defend it against Yuji Nagata. There's no reason why Yuji Nagata is not going to accept the challenge. And it's very interesting that the champion is challenging the challenger, which it's a little change of pace here. Usually it's the challenger challenging the champion, but the champion, first of all, Jon Moxley challenging Yuji Nagata, and Yuji Nagata has so much respect in New Japan Pro Wrestling, so much respect in Japan, so much respect all over the world of professional wrestling. So Jon Moxley obviously respects Yuji Nagata, obviously wants a match with Yuji Nagata, so he's out challenging Yuji Nagata to a match. He offers him a title shot, and there's no way that Yuji Nagata, like you said, is not going to accept. Of course he's going to accept the title shot. And you only have to think, where's it going to take place? Is it going to take place in Japan? Is it going to take place New Japan Strong here in LA near the LA Dojo? Is it going to take place on AEW, which is a possibility? I think there's a very good chance we can see it on AEW. Very good chance, but I would like to see Moxley go back to Japan and challenge Nagata like a Korakuen Hall or something like that. It would be a great match. It's obviously a match that Moxley wants, and we're just waiting to hear back from Nagata. He hasn't accepted, but there's no way he's not going to accept. So expect to see Jon Moxley defending the U.S. IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Yuji Nagata in the near future. Now, New Japan, the New Japan Cup USA is taking place, starts this Friday. And originally the winner was going to get a shot at Jon Moxley. It was going to be the next opponent for Jon Moxley. But that's changed, and now there's the winner of the New Japan the New Japan Cup USA is going to be the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. So there's a new title that they're introducing. So whoever wins that tournament will be the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion, which is another belt here in the U.S., which is going to be the secondary belt to the United States IWGP heavyweight title. in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So there you go. I'm predicting Hikuleo is going to win that. I predicted that. I would love to see Ren Narita win it, but Hikuleo should win that tournament and be the first New Japan Pro Wrestling strong openweight champion. But Jon Moxley against Yuji Nagata, that's gonna be one hell of a match, and I hope it happens soon. I really hope it happens soon, and a lot of challenges out there. A lot of challenges taking place. Ospreay challenges CM Punk. Jon Moxley challenges Yuji Nagata. And now at MLW, let's touch on MLW for a second, as Myron Reed wants his middleweight title, the MLW middleweight title back. Let me just pull it up here if I can find it. If not, that's okay. So Myron Reed recently he lost the belt a few months ago. Not recently, a few months ago he lost it to Leo Rush, but he wants a rematch. He wants his title back, and I'm sure we're going to get a rematch between the two. And Myron Reed, without a doubt, is going to regain that title, because I don't think Leo Rush is going to be with MLW long term. I think it's just a short term thing. I was reading Bobby Lashley wants Leo Rush back in the WWE as part of Hurt Business. He said that a few days ago. I don't even know if they still have her. I think her business broke up. I'm not sure. I don't really follow the WWE. I think I read it somewhere. So maybe the Hurt Business is done. Maybe maybe Bobby Lashley said he wanted Leo Rush back in Hurt Business, and McMahon got so upset that he broke up the Hurt Business. I don't know what happened there, but MLW, Myron Reed wants his belt back, and I'm expecting them to announce a rematch between the two. Leo Rush defending the MLW middleweight title against Myron Reed. Myron Reed is my guy. I love Myron Reed. I was really upset when he lost to Leo Rush, and I really think in this rematch, Myron Reed is going to regain that title from Leo Rush, and hopefully they'll announce it soon, because the first match was terrific, and the second match I think will be even better. All right. On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. Until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.